Determine the magnitudes and directions of the currents through R1 and R2. So in this problem, we are asked to find the currents flowing across these two resistors, R1 and R2. So let us try to solve this problem. Okay, so let us consider this circuit. So as you can see, there are just four elements involved in this circuit. Voltage 1, resistor 2, and voltage 3. Now we are being asked to find the magnitude of required to get the magnitude of the current flowing across the resistor 1 and the resistor 2. So let's call that current I1 and I2. Okay, so let us solve for this problem. So before we solve for this problem, so we first need to assign the positive and the negative terminals for this circuit. So we need to use Kirchhoff's laws, Kirchhoff's voltage law for this given circuit. So we are being asked to find the current going across R1 and R2. So that's I1 and I2. Therefore, we need two equations so that we can solve simultaneously for this equation to find the value for I1 and I2. Okay, so if we will use Kirchhoff's voltage law, then we need to assign the positive and the negative terminals for these elements, for the voltages and the resistors. For the voltages, walang problema, kasi madali lang yon. Because in the voltages, since this is a DC source, the longer side will be the positive terminal. This is the negative terminal. This is the positive terminal for V1 and this is the negative terminal for V1. But how about for the resistors? For the resistors, we first need to assign the arbitrary direction of our current. When we say arbitrary, our assumed direction. So assumption lang. So it's okay. You can assume any direction. If it is, for example, for R1 going to the right or going to the left. Anyway, later on, kapag nasagutan na natin, makikita natin if our assumption is correct or not. So like for example, in this circuit, let's say that the direction of current for R1 is going to the right. And for R2 is going to the left. So this is your I1, this is your I2. Okay, so we all know that current moves from a higher potential to a lower potential. So if this is the direction of your current, so current will move from higher potential, from this terminal, going to the lower potential on this side. So the same also for resistor 2, from higher potential to a lower potential. This is negative. Okay, so for us to have an equation for to solve for I1 and I2, we use the principle of KVL or Kirchhoff's voltage law. According to Kirchhoff's, the sum of all the positive uh, potential and the negative potential is equal to 0. Or it is the sum of all the potential rises and the potential drops in a closed loop. Okay, so the sum of all the potential drops and the potential rises is equal to 0. So let's just say that the potential drop is VD or the voltage drop. So we can also call it voltage drop. Voltage drop. And VR, V voltage rise. So according to Kirchhoff's the sum of the potential drop and the potential rise is equal to 0. But VD is a negative potential. Okay, so that is a potential drop or a voltage drop. Therefore, the sum of all the potential rises, VR, or the voltage rise, plus the negative potential or the voltage drop is equal to 0, considering all the elements on a given closed path or a loop in the circuit. So for us to get an equation to solve for I1 and I2, so we need at least two equations because we have two variables involved, I1 and I2. So we need at least two equations. So let us apply KVL on this circuit. So for us to have two equations, let us consider these two loops. Like for example, let's say this is loop number 1. The upper part of the circuit, let's say this is loop number 1 going on this direction. Okay, so if that is our loop 1 going in that direction, then we can already consider, or we can already find which among these elements are the potential drops or and the potential rises. So for loop 1, there are only three elements involved: voltage 1, R1, and R2. Okay, so these are just the three elements involved. Now let us find out which among these elements are voltage drop and voltage rise. So following the direction of this loop, we'll just consider kung saan siya lumabas. So like for example, considering this loop, sa voltage 1, papasok siya ng positive terminal, then lalabas ng negative terminal for V1. Therefore, V1 is a voltage drop or a negative potential. Therefore, this 9 volts will become negative. Okay, so this is negative 9 volts plus going through R1, it will enter the positive and leave the negative terminal. Therefore, the voltage across R1 is also a negative potential or a voltage drop minus voltage 1, or the voltage flowing across resistor 1, plus, okay, again, following the direction of our loop, for R2, for voltage 2, it will enter the positive terminal and will leave the negative terminal. Therefore, it is also a voltage drop plus negative V2 is equal to 0 because there are no more elements involved. Okay, so let us first disregard the units, the voltage, because we're all dealing with volts in this problem. So this will become negative 9 minus V1 minus V2 equals 0. But we all know that voltage is the product of current and resistance from our Ohm's law. V is equal to IR. So this will become negative 9 minus I1 R1 minus I2 R2 equals 0. And we have the values for R1 and R2. From our given circuit, R1 is 22 ohms, R2 is 18 ohms. Therefore, this will become negative 9 minus 22. I1 is 22, this will become, R1 is 22, so this will become 22 I1 minus R2 is 18, so this will become 18 I2 equals 0. So simplifying more our equation, we'll have negative 22 I1 minus 18 I2 equals 9. So this is our equation number 1. So we need another equation for us to solve for I1 and I2 because we are dealing with two variables. Now let us consider another loop from our circuit to find an equation involving I1 and or I2. So let's say again, this is our second loop, loop 2. So let us say that loop 2 will go on this direction. Okay, that's for loop number 2. So if we will again trace loop number 2, so for loop number 2, for voltage 2, it will enter the R2 at positive, will leave at negative. Therefore, voltage 2 is voltage drop. Okay, so to get equation 2, um, voltage 2 is voltage drop. So this will become negative V2 plus, okay, following the direction of the loop, it will enter negative and go out of the positive terminal for 6 volts. So we will consider 6 volt as a positive potential or a voltage rise. So it is positive plus 6 volts equals 0. So this is just negative V2 is equal to negative 6. Okay, dividing this by negative 1, V2 is equal to 6. But again, from our Ohm's law, V2 is the product of I2 and R2 is equal to 6. R2 is 18 ohms. So this is 18. I2 is equal to 6. So from this equation, we can already get the value of I2. Divide this by 18. Divide this also by 18. So we'll have I2 be equal to 1 over 3 or approximately 0.33 amperes. So since we get a positive value for I2, then we can conclude that we get the right assumption for I2, that I2 is going to the left direction. Okay, so we are right with our assumption for I2, that I2 is going to the left. Going to the left direction. So this is our answer for I2. Since we already have the value of I2, then we can easily now get the value for I1 because we just have to substitute the value of I2 to I1. So substituting the value of I2 to I1, substitute I2 to equation 1, we'll get the value of I1. So from equation number 1, uh, we'll have negative 22 I negative 22 I1 minus 18 I2, which is equal to 1 over 3 is equal to 9. So this is negative 22 I1 minus 18 over 3 is equal to 9. Negative 22 I1 minus 6 is equal to 9. Then negative 22 I1 is equal to 9 plus 6. Negative 22 I1 is equal to 15. Then we divide both sides by negative 22. Negative 22. This will be cancelled. I1 would be equal to negative 15 over 22, or approximately 15 divided by 22. This is approximately 0.68 amperes. 0.68 amperes. But since we get a negative sign for I1, therefore our assumption for I1 in our circuit, so we are wrong with our assumption. So ang assumption natin is going to the right, but the correct direction for this current is also going to the left. So I1 should also be going to the left. So that's what I'm telling you, na as long as we be consistent of our assumption in our answer, it will lead us to the right direction. So therefore I1, our final answer for I1 is 0.68 amperes, also going to the left direction, because our first assumption is going to the right. So that's how we solve for problems using Kirchhoff's laws. So I1 is 0.68 amperes going to the left, and I2 is 0.33 amperes also going to the left. So those are the answers for the magnitude and direction of the current flowing through R1 and R2.